I believe in the mission, right? I believe in the Titans. I believe in the work that they do. I want to support them. And so trying to balance that instinct with the instinct I have to be like, no, you, Tim, need to be as far away from this as possible. You need to spend another 100 years training with your bow staff, and then maybe feel comfortable with you going out into battle.
James, huge fan. I loved you on You season 2, and then when I saw you join Titan, I'm like, oh my god, 40 is coming to the DC universe. It is iconic. It's absolutely iconic. Were you a big DC Comics fan before you joined the show?
Yes, and I was specifically a big Teen Titans fan. The job is sort of a dream come true for me. Like, when I think about if I could go back in time and tell 13-year-old me, like, hey, you're going to be in the live action Teen Titans show and you're going to be playing the love interest of a superhero, I think his head would have exploded,
Oh, yeah. That's amazing. Can you talk about your audition process? Was this something, because I know with Titans, they do a lot of secretive casting calls where they're like, here's one name, but then when you actually get the gig, you're playing someone else. So like, what was that process like?
There was some reading between the lines that had to happen, like looking at the sides, which were, again, it's like the 2 scenes I used to audition weren't even necessarily things that like ended up in the series, because they don't want to give you samples of scripts or let on anything that might happen in the show. So it was like kind of funny trying to figure out like, okay, who is this actually? And like, who am I talking to in these scenes? Like, what's like the code here that's being used? But actually in the original sides, I think the character's name was Bernard. It wasn't Bernard Fitzmartin, but it was Bernard. And so, I knew immediately. And then when my team reached out, they were like, we're pretty sure that this is what they're doing. And then, I sent in my audition. It was just one of those things. Didn't really think about it. And then heard pretty quickly that they were interested. And then that's when the conversation, and I got lucky enough just before I decided to take the job, I did get to talk with one of the writers who definitely nailed down, like, this is who you're playing. This is what the character arc is going to be. And then I was just so excited. I couldn't wait to get started. So,
because this is obviously a huge deal, because I remember when someone had spotted, I think someone had, the director, I think, had taken a photo of you and Jay, and everyone was just speculating who you were playing. Yeah. Like, did you see any of that fan conversation go? Because everyone was like, is he Roy Harper? Is he Bernard? Who is he?
Well, I got an email from Titans being like, hey, totally understand. The director posted a photo. Luckily, there's nothing in it that's too revealing. Not a big deal. Please don't, going forward, post anything from set, say anything about who your character is. But that photo definitely peaked. Yeah, I just started getting a lot of DMs. Everybody thought I was going to be, and I felt bad. I was like, I wish I could tell you I was going to be Roy Harper, guys. I know you've been waiting for him, but it's not me. But I just didn't reply to any of those. I guess I was a little nervous, and but it was pretty easy. Although it's funny, the things that you don't think of as spoilers, like little costume pieces or a wig change. So I basically just, anytime anybody was in costume or we were on set, I just wasn't posting at all. You know what I mean? I wasn't taking photos of myself, but I wasn't taking photos of anything. I wasn't, and I'm always in the show wearing a little lanyard that says Fitzmartin on the bottom. And I just always had to be sure if they recorded anything that I covered that, because I didn't want to give it away. It was definitely a relief when they finally just announced who I was playing, and the fans of the comics were able to connect the dots on that.
Yeah, so I'm almost assuming that when the season is over, you're gonna just go on a big Instagram posting spree of here's everything I had from months ago.
Some photo dumps. I'm gonna wait though, because knowing me, I just know I would post something that somebody would be. If I post now, at the mid-season finale, it would I don't know, spoil a beautiful surprise that the writers created later in the season. So
fair enough. Well, the reason I got so excited about Bernard coming is because I'm a bisexual man, and I always look for more LGBT rep, especially in superheroes, because that's my thing. I mean, look behind me; it's all superhero stuff. So how great was it for you getting to be part of that? Because this is the first time we have an LGBT couple on Titans, and it's someone, again, Tim coming out in the comic was so huge, and now we're already going to see it in live action. So how was that as an actor? How was that as for you as an actor getting to bring that to life?
It was a dream come true. It really was. Like, I can't, and I'm not just like saying it for clout or like to make the fans happy. I loved the show when I was younger. I really felt like the Titans, it was one of the first shows and one of the first comics that I read and watched where I felt, it wasn't Batman and Superman. They weren't adults. They were my age and they were struggling with things, relationships with parents, identity, feeling alienated, feeling lost, that at the time as an adolescent, as a closeted adolescent, I was dealing with. And I felt seen and felt like, if I have struggles in common with these characters, maybe I can also be brave and noble and selfless like they are too. And I really looked to them for comfort. And so, back at that time, I was still in the phase of my life where I was like, I'm probably just like never going to tell anybody that I'm gay. I'm probably just going to keep that to myself for as long as possible and like figure it out as I get older. So now to be way on the other side of that journey, to be in this show, period, but definitely to be in this show, playing this character, having this relationship, and knowing that a bunch of people like me, hopefully, this is the hope when we create this kind of work, are going to watch it and feel supported and seen and loved and validated the way that I did by those characters when I was younger, but even more comprehensively, because like you just said, now this is like real representation. This is a shift in this canon. I don't know. It means the world to me. I tried not to think about it too much on set because when you're going out to shoot the scenes, if you're in your head being like, this is like a critical moment for queer representation, can get a little stressful. You're trying to stay present with the people in the room. But like, I remember there are a couple of scenes in episode 6 after Jay and I have our sort of big romantic moment where it was just sort of like us just like chatting and just like being a little cute and a little flirty. And I remember walking off set that day and Jay was really happy because he felt like we were finally getting into like the meat of the relationship. And in terms of acting, he was like, I feel like we really crushed that scene and I feel like I had a really good acting day. And I remember walking back into holding with cast and getting a little misty eyed, just thinking about, they're all so lovely and supportive. And Anna and Tegan were like, are you okay? Like, what's wrong? And just thinking about if young me could see me now and knew what I was doing, like how excited he would be and how excited some of the young people watching this show are going to be when they get to see that moment. And, I don't know. I could just talk.
No, of course. But I'm so happy that it was so fulfilling for both of you. Yeah. And I know it's like going to be for a lot of fans as well. Now, because I've seen episode 6 and my God, I need the other 6 to come out as soon as possible because there were so many cliffhangers. So what is coming up for Bernard? How does he deal with the Titans going forward? And what else can you tease?
Well, I think, again, now that it's no longer a will they, won't they, now that it's they will for Tim and Bernard, it's like no relationship is without its challenges, right? And the challenge here being that my new boyfriend is frequently running off to join fights to the death against cults and witches and Trigon.
As one does.
Yeah, as one, and again, I believe in the mission, right? I believe in the Titans. I believe in the work that they do. I want to support them. And so trying to balance that instinct with the instinct I have to be like, no, you, Tim, need to be as far away from this as possible. You need to spend another 100 years training with your bow staff and then maybe feel comfortable with you going out into battle. But, he's not I'm not the team leader. I'm not his boss. I'm not Batman. And so it's just like a lot of conflicting impulses. And I think we just kind of watch that play out for the rest of the season. I think for Bernard, it's a lot about like trying to be close and wanting to be close to Tim, but also sometimes holding it at arm's length because he's afraid of getting hurt and he's afraid of Tim getting hurt. And, as spicy as episode 6 was, the stakes are only going to get higher as the season moves along. I obviously can't be specific about anything. But the momentum continues forward. It just gets more complicated for Tim and Bernard, as it would for a super scientist and his superhero boyfriend.
Well, I mean, speaking of him being a superhero, because I know, Bernard has been hooking up with the Titans with a lot of things in Star Labs. What are the chances that he might hook up Tim with a suit or a Robin suit, a cape, something like that?
I don't know. I don't know if that'll happen. I guess you will just have to wait patiently and then watch episodes 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 and see what happens.
Because I know that was one of the fears that people had online. I'm like, I want to see what he says about it. He's probably not going to be able to spill it, but I want to just see, what does his body language say? So, people who will watch it will probably be like, he's actually saying yes, but he's not actually saying yes. And what do you have coming up? What are you working on right now besides promoting Titans?
Right now, I get to enjoy just like a holiday break. And then I have not really anything I'm allowed to talk about, actually, but I have some fun stuff coming up in the new year that I'm really excited to shoot. I'm about to start promoting this film that's going to come out in the fall, which still doesn't have a title. Julio Torres's A24, his theatrical debut. So mostly just that, but really right now through January, I'm lucky I get to just sort of celebrate the holidays and relax. And probably now I actually haven't watched the season as it's been coming out, but I imagine here in December, I'll probably at some point binge watch episodes 1 through 6 for the rest of the season.
Yeah, it's a good. I was watching the last 6 last Sunday, and it's very much of a good, it feels like a good book, really good book format almost.
Yeah, the comics that way.
Yeah, and hopefully if there's a season 5, maybe you will see you back, because if Tim and Bernard is Endgame, what do we have a name for them yet? What's the couple name?
Oh, Bim? I feel like I gotta let the fans do that.
Yeah. Let the fans handle it, man. I might go with #BIM, because it's short, sweet. But yeah, do you think chances are good that you would be back for season 5 if there's one?
Like I said, playing this role was such a dream come true, and I would be delighted to get to spend another couple of months working with these people, because I can't emphasize enough. Such a great group. They really have put together a team of superheroes. And, I would love to get in there again and save the world with my boyfriend.
Well, I'm crossing my fingers for you. So thank you so much for your time today. Congrats on what has been an amazing season of Titans. And hopefully we'll chat in the future about more #BIM adventures.
I hope so, man. Have a great day. I appreciate it.
You too. Awesome.